Forbes India presents Leadership Dialogue with Tata Housing, Varnam Phase 1, Carnatica, North Bengaluru.
Hello and welcome to Forbes India presents Leadership Dialogue with Tata Housing, Varnam. I'm Ridu Bhandari. India's real estate story is evolving from standalone housing to integrated ecosystems, from transactions to trust-led communities. At the heart of this shift are brands that combine legacy with forward thinking, and Tata Realty and Infrastructure is one such name, known for its governance, scale, and long-term vision. But in a market that's evolving very rapidly, digitally, demographically, and geographically, how does a legacy brand stay ahead of aspiration? Today, with satellite towns emerging as powerful growth corridors and integrated townships and developments redefining urban living, what does the next chapter of home buying look like for the Indian consumer? And how is Tata Realty helping shape it? To answer all of these questions and more, I'm joined today by Sarthak Seth, Senior Vice President, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer at Tata Realty and Infrastructure. Sarthak, thank you so much for joining us here today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mridu.
Well, to start with the big picture, of course, one is the Tata brand, the Tata name, great legacy, a lot of brand confidence that the Indian consumer has in this particular brand. And two, I want to combine that with the changing, mindset of the Indian consumer as far as home buying is concerned. So today's consumer is moving from independent housing to integrated developments. You have a presence there as Tata Realty. Give us a sense of some of the big trends that you are seeing there, especially in large developments like Carnatica that you have just launched in North Bengaluru, particularly Varnam Phase 1. That's what we are talking about today.
Okay, so Mridu, I'll actually start from the point where you started was all about the trust factor when it comes to home buying, because you've spoken about Tata legacy also. So one of the key things, it's like when you are into buying a home, it's a decision which is a very informed decision you want to take. And it both involves, I would say, the financial part of it and the emotional part of it. And trust really plays a very important role. And I think with Tata, the two things really which emerged on the top is trust and transparency. And home buying is all about having that trust and transparency when you are wanting to deal with any of the developers also. And when I say from a transparency standpoint, I think people really want to understand that, okay, the land parcel, what we are offering, the development, what we are offering, whether it's fully governance has been taken care of. I would say all the land parcels, they are pretty well vetted and everything. So definitely, yes, with Tata, people can really say that, okay, yes, everything has been taken care of. Another thing is, we're talking about the big townships and everything. What happens, it's like, it's been delivered over a period of 10 to 12 years because you have got various phases, because today as we speak about Varnam, which is a 135 plus acres township. So we know that, okay, it's going to be like get into at least a 10 to 12 years. So whether the developer can really deliver it or not. So with Tata, that confidence is always there. So I think what people really look forward is to have a trusted name. Coming on to the second point, which is like the buying preferences are changing over a period of time. I would say yes, and it has really evolved very fast. So there was one point in time where people used to have that pride of owning those single houses, so to say. It's like, okay, I'm having an independent house and everything. But I think the trends were changing over the last decade or so, but post-COVID, it actually changed much faster. So now people have realized the importance of community living. I think convenience, comfort, and somewhere safety also really makes it a very big play now. Because
and also loneliness, perhaps.
Yeah, that is where community comes into the picture. So community is something which is like, yes, a lot of us, like I stay out of my hometown, probably, I don't know, you might also be staying out of your hometown, wherein we are nuclear families. You need to have really people because man is always a social animal, so to say. So you need to interact, you need to be with like-minded people. So you really look forward to that sort of a community that, okay, I want to really interact with the same mindset of people around me.
Yeah.
So I think community living is something which is very important.
Yeah.
Safety, why I said, because when you are living alone, you just need to have that comfort that, okay, I'm in a well-protected society. So some of these things are really, I would say, taking up a higher rank when selecting your place, selecting your home and everything.
Right. And tell us a little more about Karnataka. You've chosen North Bengaluru as the place to launch it. What's the most attractive proposition for home buyers of North Bengaluru? Tell us about the area and why you chose this particular location and some salient features about the project.
Okay, I think North Bengaluru, as a location, it's like one of the most fastest growing corridors, and not only in Bengaluru, probably across the country now. And I would say, while we conceptualized Karnataka, one of the first reasons was that it is just about 7 kilometers from the airport, to be precise, 6.8 kilometers. So you know that how the developments had been around the airports now. In the last 2 decades, I think developments around the airports have really gone up much faster. Even from an investor standpoint, I think, the appreciation and everything has also been much faster over there. Secondly, the entire ecosystem, because when I talk from an ecosystem perspective, when you look onto the North Bengaluru as a region now, you have got STRR, which is the ring road, which is actually coming up over there. Then you have got the airport city also over there, KIADB, which is like they're talking about having more than 350,000 jobs by 2030.
Right.
So you can imagine how this entire zone is really going to be like developing and developing at a much faster pace. So definitely there is going to be a requirement for this sort of housing.
Yeah.
So it's not just about Karnataka. I think the entire region is really coming up very fast, and why to miss this sort of an opportunity for Tata then?
Right, absolutely. And what was the vision behind Karnataka? And what's the vision behind phase 1, which you're calling Varnam? Tell us what's special about this.
Okay. Like when we were looking into that, okay, how we can really resonate ourselves with that entire Karnataka as a state, and we said that, okay, when my team was really looking in terms of having that thinking cap on and saying that, okay, what sort of campaigns we can do, what sort of nomenclature we can do, what sort of architecture we can actually do for this entire project. But the way I said, it's a long one. It's a big project for us. So we said that, okay, let's see what can resonate more to Karnataka, and Carnatic music was something which we really looked onto. And within Carnatic music, then we really deep dived and we saw that, okay, the first thing was swar, when you talk from a music perspective. The second thing is like rag, then Vern, right? So while you say phase 1, because phase 1 is only from the high-rise perspective, but prior to this, we actually launched 2 other phases. So one is called Swaram, which is again a plotted phase, what we launched. The second part also we launched plotted was Ragam. So Swaram, Ragam, and now finally Varnam.
Right.
So this is how this entire genesis or the architecture actually happened for Karnataka.
And who's your target buyer for all of these, parts of the project?
For each of these, I would say, different typologies, we have a different consumers set which is there. The team really studies from a demographic perspective, from a psychographic perspective, that, okay, which consumers we are really targeting. So our marketing campaigns keep on changing from a typology standpoint, which typologies we are really focusing upon. So if I'm talking about a 3 BHK, the demographic, psychographics will definitely change. My target audience would change. My P1 audiences will change.
Yeah.
And when I talk from a row house or a townhouse, definitely the TG is going to be more evolved, more matured. So we have done all those dissections from a TG standpoint to really reach out to the right TG. We are actually into 3 BHKs, and then we have got upwards of 3 BHKs with 4 BHKs and duplexes, and then we had row houses, townhouses also. And I would say the development is very premium. So when I say we actually started a price point of close to about 1.7 crores for a 3 BHK starting, and we look forward to I would say people who are like into their early 30s, who are really looking in terms of having their own home. There are a lot of, I would say, families also coming across like the mid 40s.
Right.
And somebody, it's like it's been targeted towards that urban Indian living. So that is where we are looking on to. And secondly, even from an NRI perspective, there had been a lot of interest coming in from NRIs. So you will be surprised, we have done almost like 17 plus countries, the bookings have actually happened for us. So you can understand that we have got interest from across the globe.
Right. And as a location, you spoke about the benefits of North Bengaluru and how it's an upcoming and growing region. But from a value creation standpoint, when an investor or a home buyer is looking to, put money in a home there.
When you talk from a real estate perspective, it is all about the location which really matters the most because, like I said, real estate is all about location, location, location. That's the first thing. And the location is right over there. We know, the way I said that this is one of the fastest coming economic corridors in the country right now. Yeah. So there's no doubt in terms of appreciation. Yes, you have to be invested for a certain period of time to really reap the benefits of that particular investment.
Now, home buying behavior has also changed over the last couple of years. There has been a significant difference in terms of, how people bought homes pre-COVID and post-COVID. So what are some of the big shifts that as real estate developers you are really tracking and you are really keeping pace with to ensure that your offering is really matching what the consumer wants?
So I'll break this into two parts because while we are saying one is from a consumer perspective, that what the consumer is wanting within a particular development. And another thing is how the trends are changing in terms of for them to really go select a project and everything. So one, it's like from a consumer, what consumer is wanting, the convenience part of it, the safety part of it. I think sustainability is something which a lot of consumers are now asking about. They're asking that, okay, what sort of sustainable things you have? Do you have got rainwater harvesting? Do you have got solar panels? You have got, I would say, electric charging is something which is now everybody is looking forward to. And also, I would say another thing is the convenience, the infra which is around the project. Because it is like it has to be an ecosystem which is around the project, which is self-sustaining in a certain manner. So you need to have those hospitals, schools, convenience stores and everything match up with the needs of everyday requirement for the consumer. Coming on to your point, which is all about the buying. So see, real estate historically has been something which is very physical. Correct. From a buying perspective, because you really want to go check out the land yourself, check out what development it is, really want to know more about the developer. So it was all physical. I would say till about COVID, most of it was physical, while we had some digital interceptions also. Correct. But post-COVID, I think I would actually use a word called phygital now. Because now people have realized the power of digital. So today the consumer is more informed. Yeah. So before even coming to the project, they're actually exploring your website, they're seeing you on various social sites, they're understanding that, okay, what we are offering as a developer, what the project is all about. So today when the consumer comes in, we know that, okay, he has got some sort of a basic understanding of the project itself. Correct. So I think that aspect has really changed quite a lot now. So that the entire approach of phygital has been there now.
So you spoke about a bunch of interesting things. I'm going to first pick up on the sustainability factor that, a lot of consumers today, home buyers today want to know what part of sustainability is the realtor really focused on?
Definitely sustainability is one of the key focus areas because we know in terms of conservation, so to say, it's like whether it is energy conservation, water conservation, these things really become very, very important in the long run. So there are a lot of aspects what we have included in our project also. So we've got rainwater harvesting, the way I said. We have got, I would say, smart lighting over there, especially into all the common areas, because normally what happens is you end up paying huge electricity bills and everything, but with smart lighting, you really save quite a lot over there.
And at the back end, when you talk about, the consumer's phygital journey, it obviously also means that you at the back end have to have a lot of digital technologies. You have to be harnessing a lot of digital infrastructure. So give us a sense of, what has gone into building that piece for you.
Yeah, there's a lot on digital now, or so to say technology, because today technology is the backbone. For us, like we work on a platform, Salesforce, and we look onto both the Salesforce Marketing Cloud also, which is from a marketing aspect. A lot of AI is being integrated now. So when we talk about personalization, hyper-personalization, so all of it's actually being done. So as a consumer, when you are coming to me or you are surfing my website, I know what exactly you're looking forward to. Suppose you are investing a certain time period over some of the amenities. So we know that, okay, you are more interested to know more about the swimming pool, for example. Right. So my curated emailers, personalized mailers will actually reach out to you, which says that, okay, this is what the offering is all about. So somewhere, in a way, we are able to connect better with the consumer. Secondly, I would say our chatbots are there 24/7. So you have got all those queries and everything. So because a lot of times we have seen that people, they get free probably late in the night, and then they just want to have all those answers. So everything is there, is available for you. So you don't have to wait for a real sales agent to really come up and tell you that, okay, these are what the USPs and everything of the project or whatever you require.
Yeah.
So you have right over there. I would say even when you call up my call center, we have got our lead scoring analysis and everything. So we know that, okay, from a priority perspective, we'll immediately reach out to you.
Right.
So there's a lot of, I would say the entire journey of the consumer is very seamless. So it's just one part of it, which is like pre-sale sort of a thing while we are introducing a project to you. Even when we talk from a post-sales perspective, which is like during registration process and everything. So you don't have to physically go and do those 100 paper signing and everything. Everything is digital, much faster.
Right.
And this is one of the key reasons when you say a lot of NRA transactions have started to happen, because it's all that seamless integration. All I would say the technology has really made it, is enabled it for us now.
Right. And as far as Varnam is concerned, what is the early market traction that you have seen, and how have you used digital technologies to study customer behavior? What sort of patterns have come about, and have you had to tweak your marketing or sales strategies by studying these patterns?
Okay, I think the response had been really phenomenal for us. We launched the project on 16th of August, and within a month's time, we clocked more than 1,000 crores of sale, which is like, I would say, a very good response for any project like this. When I talk from even a walk-in perspective, we actually had more than 1,500 walk-ins happening in a span of a fortnight. So you can just see that what's the traction, what we really got over there. So the early time was really nice for us.
So what percentage is sold out by now?
So from a phase one perspective, in fact, we sold out more than 90% of what we launched during August. So now we have, in fact, launched 3 more towers also. So these are last 3 towers for the phase one.
Right.
So, and while we speak on the last 3 towers also, we have sold more than 60% of the inventory. So it is very less inventory which is remaining. But yes, there is more inventory which is going to be unlocked over a period of time. So the response has been really phenomenal for us. Again, coming on to the second question, from a community living perspective, what a consumer wants. It is all about that, okay, I am looking forward to convenience. I am looking forward to infrastructure which is around me. I am looking forward to that appreciation which I am anticipating over a period of time. So all these have a tick mark over there. So definitely when the customers came in, these were some of the basic questions. Things around safety, wellness, sustainability, again, these are the ticks for us when we talk from project standpoint. So we really studied all of this. We understood that, okay, these are the basics what the consumer is wanting today. Right. And believe me, the entire vertical living has changed over a period of time now. Right. So you have those amenities which is more of horizontal, but the living is more of vertical. So it's all about that, okay, what sort of amenities you are actually offering. So each of these phases are going to have a dedicated clubhouse for the consumer. So they know that, okay, I've got my own space also. You've got so much of walking space and everything what we have really curated within development. Right. The openness, the wellness, all these things really enhance the living quotient. So because today, the consumers just don't want homes, or they're not buying homes, they're actually investing into lifestyle.
Well, finally, how do you see the future of home buying evolving in India, and how well poised is Tata Realty to match the shift and the speed of change that's coming our way?
Okay, I think 2 aspects again. One is what consumers are really going to look forward to, because I think design is going to play a very important role, thoughtfulness around the design. I think the ecosystem, the connected ecosystem, I think the community living, it's going to be evolving over a period of time now. And it has already evolved, but again, it will continue to evolve. So I think from a Tata Realty standpoint, sustainability is one thing what we've also spoken. So that ecosystem, sustainability, thoughtfulness and design, these 2-3 things are really going to be very, very important for us. And that is where we are actually going to be focusing upon more and more. And I would say from a buying pattern perspective, we've already spoken quite a lot in terms of the phygital journeys and everything, how AI is actually going to play a very important role, or how technology is going to play a very important role. So all those things from a metaverse perspective, ARs and VRs, that is where what consumer experiences we are able to give to the consumer, what experiences we are able to offer to the consumer really is going to matter the most, because it's all about just showcasing a project or a product to him, which you are actually going to deliver over a period of 4 to 5 years.
Right.
So if you are able to really show what you are offering, I think you have just done it over there.
Right. Customer euphoria is going to be key.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here today, Sarthak. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, Pritu.
Well, the future of residential real estate in India is not just about building homes, it's about building ecosystems. It's about designing communities that are sustainable, technology-enabled, trust-led, and future-ready. As India urbanizes at unprecedented speed, the question is no longer whether cities will expand, but how thoughtfully they will be built. Hope you enjoyed the insights on this special conversation. Until next time, thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Forbes India presents Leadership Dialogue with Tata Housing, Varnam Phase 1, Carnatica, North Bengaluru.